All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the profound psychological journey hidden inside Olivia Rodrigo's song, The Cure. You know, it's so incredibly easy to just vibe with a catchy melody, sing along, and completely miss the actual weight of the words. But right now, we're stripping away all that music to look strictly at the lyrics. We are breaking down a raw, unfiltered story of internal struggle, the massive burden we sometimes put on our romantic expectations, and the ultimate and sometimes deeply painful realization of what love can and cannot actually do for us.
So, can someone else's love ever truly cure your own mind? Man, that is a heavy question, right? But seriously, think about it for a second. How often do we secretly look to someone else to just fix our internal struggles? We want a savior. We want someone to step into our lives and make all the noise, the pressure, and the anxiety completely stop. It's human nature to want that kind of rescue. But, as we're going to see by tearing through these lyrics, asking a partner to be your cure might actually be asking the impossible.
Section 1. The internal poison, setting the baseline of the mind. Before love even enters the picture, we really got to understand where the speaker's head is actually at. There is this absolutely brutal contrast going on between the outside world and their inner reality. On one hand, you have this suffocating external pressure. All the pretty girls in the foreground of my mind. It's an insecurity constantly occupying the absolute front of their thoughts. Impossible to ignore. But then, on the flip side, is the dark reality of their internal state. Fighting bad thoughts in my room. And feeling so alone, might as well be on the moon. Before a romantic partner even shows up in this story, they are already fighting a grueling, exhausting war of extreme isolation. I thought I'd done enough, but they keep moving the line. What a brilliant lyric. It perfectly captures that absolute, bone-deep exhaustion of trying to measure up to these impossible, ever-changing standards. It's a feeling a lot of us can relate to, isn't it? You work so incredibly hard to overcome your insecurities. You try your best to reach a point of self-acceptance, but the finish line just keeps getting pushed farther and further away. It creates the absolute perfect breeding ground for toxic self-doubt, and it perfectly sets up exactly why someone might desperately seek an escape route through someone else.
Moving on to Section 2, the romantic antidote, the false hope of a savior.
So, when a romantic partner finally enters the narrative, the lyrics repeatedly state, "I thought I found the antidote with you." And wow, this reveals such a desperate, deep-seated hope that this new relationship is just going to magically neutralize all their mental pain. Think about the literal definition of an antidote for a second. It's a medicine specifically taken to counteract a poison. The weight of that word is huge. The speaker isn't just looking for companionship or a fun time here. They are actively seeking a chemical neutralization to those bad thoughts trapped in their room. They look at this partner and think, finally, here is the medicine that will literally save me from my own mind.
Which brings us to Section 3, the sabotage game, introducing doubt and toxicity.
Well, here is where things take a noticeably dark turn, because as it turns out, internal struggles, they can't just be loved away. The speaker actually openly admits to self-sabotage, playing this toxic game in my head. Look at these brutal steps straight from the lyrics. Date a guy, tally up the girls from his past, and then start to cry. It's a deliberate, almost compulsive need to just find a flaw, a reason to hurt yourself. The external love of the partner just isn't enough to stop the speaker from manufacturing their own heartbreak and injecting doubt straight back into the relationship.
Despite thinking they'd found an antidote earlier, that baseline poison and doubt, yeah, they remain firmly rooted in the speaker's own mind, totally overpowering this new love. My head is full of poison and my heart is full of doubt. I mean, that is a spectacularly heavy admission. It tells us that no matter what the partner's doing right, no matter how supportive they are, that internal state we established at the beginning is still in complete control. The poison is still winning the war.
Section 4. The unraveling, the breakdown of the illusion.
Now we hit the crucial point. This is where the illusion of the romantic savior completely and utterly breaks down. The song shifts dramatically into this frantic, rhythmic repetition of feeling just entirely undone. I'm unraveled. It is such a powerful, visceral word choice, isn't it? It doesn't just mean feeling sad or upset, it means coming apart at the seams. The structural thread holding everything together has snapped, and the desperate attempt to use the relationship as a binding agent has completely failed.
By repeating this phrase relentlessly, I'm unraveled, I'm unraveled, I'm unraveled, the lyrics actually simulate an escalating panic attack. You can almost literally feel the heart racing as the speaker loses their grip on the fantasy that they have been saved. That repetition highlights a highly dangerous emotional spiral, a total loss of control as they finally realize the antidote just isn't working the way they thought it would.
And then, total desperation really sets in. They plead for the partner to put them back together. Why can't you come stitch me up? Why can't it ever be enough? This fully exposes the impossible and frankly deeply unfair savior complex being placed onto the relationship. They are literally asking the partner to perform emotional surgery, to stitch them up from the inside out. And when it naturally doesn't work, there's that heartbreaking realization, why can't it ever be enough? But see, it's not that the partner's love isn't enough. It's that love itself isn't a substitute for real internal healing.
Finally, Section 5. Love is not a cure. The final realization.
This brings us to the profound core realization of the whole song. We can clearly see the partners trying their absolute best here to act as a healer. The lyrics explicitly acknowledge that the partner tried hard to suck them out, referring to those toxic thoughts in the bloodstream. But the harsh reality, despite all that effort, it only feels like medication. The speaker rationally knows it's good for me, I'm sure, but ultimately reaches the absolutely devastating conclusion that it don't matter how your love feels anymore. Their love functions only as a temporary comfort, rather than a true, permanent solution to the underlying poison. The speaker finally acknowledges that no matter how good or how supportive the partner's love feels, it is merely medication treating the symptoms. Think about the stark difference between medication and a cure for a second. Medication, it just manages the pain. It numbs it for a little while, making the day-to-day bearable. And that is exactly what this romantic partner provides. But a cure? A cure eradicates the disease completely from the source. The profound realization hidden deep within these lyrics is that external love can never ever be the permanent internal fix.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer, leaving us with this haunting final lyric. It'll never be the cure. It'll never be. It completely strips away all that fairy tale romance we're constantly fed in pop culture, leaving us with a stark, undeniable truth. True healing, it absolutely must come from within, rather than from someone else. So I want to leave you with this lingering question to ponder long after we wrap up today. If the deepest, most supportive love from someone else is only ever just medication, what steps must we take to finally become our own cure?